Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. 2023 is a bit far away, just about a year to go, but then activities ahead of 2023 has taken over. A lot of Nigerians already set to tackle the issues that are bothering when it comes to insecurity and all that. But one of the prominent activists that has been a voice, not just of late, but in recent time, has been a voice to be reckoned with. And his media presence have decided to, cry out, tell Nigerians exactly what is going on behind the scene and going forward the next line of action. Before we go to the news to find out exactly who we're talking about and what his fate is and what he's telling Nigerians to do, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Let's quickly go straight into the news. What activists under the aegis of the Revolutionary Socialist Movement have condemned the alleged deactivation of the leader of the revolution now, Omoyele Sowore's passport, the voter's card, the national identity card, and driver's license. Omoyele Sowore, also an activist, had claimed that the federal government deactivated all his means of identification, reacting the activist in a statement titled "End Continue Attacks on Omoyele Sowore, Free Sowore Now," said the deactivation is a violation of Sowore's right. In a statement by their publicity secretary, Salako Kayode, the activist said, "We are shocked by the recent bizarre attack on him by the Buhari regime. Mr. Omoyele Sowore's passport, voter's card, national identity card, and driver's license were deactivated on the country's electronic biometrical system. Sowore can no longer use any of these cards for any transactions within or outside the country. This is outrageous and a gross violation of most basic human and democratic rights." This attack is another one out of many that have been carried against him since his arrest in August 2019. These attacks include restricting him to Abuja for over 2 years now, sponsoring thugs to come against him at court premises on different occasions, even doing all sorts against him, as was the case in May last year when a police officer shot at Sowore during a protest at Unity Fountain. The list is endless. Now, they have essentially de-citizenized Sowore. I take that again. Said now that they have essentially de-citizenized Sowore. It appears that the Buhari regime and its cohort have forgotten that they are elected and must be answerable to opposition voices. What is becoming clear is that they are determined to try to crush every opposition voice, every activist who raises their voice against the regime for human and democratic rights, and in the interest of the laboring masses, the youth, and the poor. This is serious. Well, they subsequently called for an official and independent investigation into moves against Sowore. The activist said, and I quote, "These moves against Sowore affect all progressive forces in the country. Pressure must be mounted to force the regime back. It is a matter of defending everybody's democratic rights, everyone's right to criticize and fight against the policies that serve the rich and the corrupt elite against the interest of the people. This move against Mr. Sowore are an additional manifestation of a failed state, an agitation regime that is terrified of opposition voices, particularly amongst the youth. This is an attempt to terrorize people who want to fight against the regime, to scare people away from fighting against Buhari. RSM calls on all progressive forces to act now. We must end the filibuster in the political space and moves against activists during protests. We must work towards a better Nigeria. It's a free, It should a better Nigeria that should be free from corruption, abuse of office, poverty, where peace, justice, and equity shall reign. Nigerians have taken to the social media to react to this. Earlier in the day, like 48 hours ago, there about 48 to 72 hours ago, Omoyele Sowore cried out that this happened to him, that his biometric or his identity card, from driver's license to voter's card to national passport, even some of his bank accounts that has a BVN, he may not be able to draw because of those accounts are actually linked or open using those forms of means of identity. And now by default, based on what has happened, the accounts they are now deactivated. So according to the activist now that is speaking on behalf of Omoyele Sowore, he said now that the federal government have decitizenized him. Because if he cannot use some of these means of identification, both home and abroad, then what makes him a citizen? If some of these guys will just go through behind the northern borders and come in, some of these non-Nigerians who go in and they get NIS sleep, allegedly so. There are more Nigerian now than someone that was actually born, bred and brought out before he got married and all that in Nigeria, before he now left for the States and all that. So you now find out that there are more citizens, more Nigerian than he is. Quite a pathetic one. But this activist is saying something quite unique. He said, look, whether you like it or not, there will always be opposition voices. But in a situation where you use some of these biometrics, and now Nigerians are worried. A lot of comments that are going through, a lot of comments that people are saying here, a whole lot of them are pointing towards the fact that could it be one of the reasons why they wanted those digital stuff, so that they could arbitrarily deactivate anyone they choose to, or any dissenting voices that is against the government of the day, or any opposition voices. They'll just go to the biometrics or online digital informations of Nigerians and deactivate it. But then Omoyele Sowore was still the first the SAR reporters made Nigerians know that it looks like they were hackers that actually did a lot of mess with online platform of I think NIMC, the National Identity platform. Said they hacked about 3 million or so. Unfortunately, I think about hours after, it was discovered that he was deactivated based on what Omoyele Sowore said, that went viral. Now, other activists are beginning to lend voice to it, and Nigerians are getting worried. If this is the way, that they are going to keep, going against those who speak against the government of the day, then they are now worried that does it now mean that anyone who speaks now, they could easily go to the database and just de-Nigerian you. But I don't know how Omoyele was someone who speaks up, always very bold. But I honestly hope that this should not be a trend. But then the government have actually come and said that that it's not exactly how it looks like. It's not like they went about. I think it was a mix up here and there and all that, according to them. But Omoyele is insisting that he's actually, quote unquote, that his accounts, that's his identity account, voter's card, driver's license, international passport, have been deactivated such that he can't use them both home and abroad. Quite a pathetic one. Let's meet in that comment section, because indeed other activists are beginning to lend their voice.